Hi everyone, welcome to Honey Drops Tarot. This is a general reading for the sign of Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Libra, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for all of your likes, shares, and subscribes. I truly appreciate it. Just a quick note, please do not fall for any scammers. I will never reach out to solicit for a private reading. I do offer private readings, and if you're interested in signing up for one of those or in making a donation, you can find that information in my Buy Me a Coffee link. My official Instagram and TikTok all listed in the About section of my YouTube page, and I thank you so much in advance. Libra, I hope that you're doing well. My hands feel very sweaty and kind of clammy at the moment. Not sure why. I feel as though, maybe you're nervous about something. I don't know what that would be, but maybe we'll find out in this reading. I'm going to be using two decks for your reading today. The first one is the Wisdom of the Oracle deck, and then at the end I will read from the book. And I'm debuting a new deck on my channel. This is the Mindscapes Tarot by John Rice. I've been following him for probably like a year and a half now on Instagram and watching his journey of creating this deck, which he did by hand, and it just got published, and so I'm very happy to be using it. It's been giving some really great messages so far, so I just wanted to give him a shout out. I don't know him, I just wanted to give him a shout out. So the cards have been pre-shuffled. This is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. Angel, spirits, guides, what messages do you have for Libra? This is for Libra. Number 7, which corresponds to the Chariot card of the Major Arcana. Chariot card talks about victory, fast movement forward, a sense of control over our destiny. It's this period when we have mastered the light and the shadow aspects of who we are. When we kind of understand what those are for us, we can use them to our advantage. And the card is To the Sea. Ooh, sorry, I just felt fluctuation in this ear. So I feel as though spirit guides are around. It wasn't very sustained. It was almost like, it was, okay, I feel this energy of it was like a quick door open, and then like they shut it really quick. Like they came in and then they shut the door behind them. So it's kind of like they came in, but it's almost like they didn't want to interrupt. They just wanted to be present, if that makes sense. Like they're here, but they didn't want to make a big deal of it, even though I'm making a big deal of it now because that's very exciting. So we'll see if they have any more comments. But To the Sea, it's kind of, this feels very dreamy, very romantic, in the bathtub with what looks like a weather vane on the front of it with the arrow kind of pointing forward. And it appears that she has some kind of book in her hand. I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to be, but it looks like some kind of book. It's almost like getting lost in our imagination. Right, and the boat itself is like an origami boat. It's like, sorry for the reflection, but it's like a paper boat. It feels very, very dreamy, very like of a childhood imagination. So now I'm hearing that song by Christopher Cross, which is very old. I don't even know if it's an 80s song or a 70s song. I want to say it's like early 80s. Christopher Cross, a musician, and he had a couple of songs that were really famous, but one of them is called Sailing. So I don't know if you're familiar with that song. It's quite beautiful. Like fantasy, it gets the best of me when I'm sailing. Now I'm hearing another lyric. It's not far to Never Never Land. At least it's not for me. But when the wind is right, you can sail away and find serenity. Oh, the canvas can Canvas can prove miracles or do miracles. Just you wait and see. Believe me. So that song, I think, is all about this dreaminess, this imagination. It's just like getting lost in our thoughts, but almost suggesting getting lost in our emotions. This the watery depths, which might be kind of different for you as an air sign. Maybe you're in this dreamy state right now, a reflective state. The waters are very calm. Just want to point that out. So we shall see. I'm going to pull 3 cards for the base spread, 3 cards for clarifier, past, present, future. And at the end, a card of advice from Spirit. This is for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, or Venus. The deck feels like it's almost too much to handle. I've been using it for, what, 9 readings now? This is the 10th? No. What reading is this? The 9th reading. And I haven't had any issues shuffling, but it feels very cumbersome in my hands. So it's almost like I feel like a lot is on your mind, right? A lot is on your mind. And maybe you just need some time alone to think about things, right? Just some space between you and everything else. Interesting. Given that card and the first card in your past energy. Number 0 in the major arcana, the Fool in reverse. And we can see here the Clipper ship. So I don't take anything for granted, right? I intuitively chose these decks to read with. They're 2 different decks and they represent some kind of ship or sailing, so it's a theme for you. Maybe you are going on a journey, maybe a cruise, maybe you're just going fishing and you just need some time to yourself. The Fool card talks about taking a great leap of faith, having this belief that when we embark on a brand new journey, a brand new adventure, that it's going to yield something in our favor. But there's a little bit of faith involved. There's courageousness, because we don't necessarily know where that ship is going in the story of the tarot. We just have faith that if we take that risk and kind of step boldly into the direction of your dreams, who said that quote? I don't know who said that quote. It's like Churchill, or like, maybe not Churchill, maybe like Emerson. I don't know. It's like the reward is worth the journey. But in the past energy, you got this card in reverse, so there could have been some fear of starting something new. I think you know exactly what this is. Spirit just said, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Obviously, it's different for everybody, but there was something that you wanted to try, but you were really scared. 6 of Stones in the reverse kind of tells me, okay, this is Spirit saying this. It didn't work out, but it's almost like you were glad that it didn't work out. Like, you knew you had to take the risk, but there was something in you that felt like it wasn't a right fit. You knew that, and you wanted to do it anyway. But like when you tried to do it, it didn't work out. Like it didn't come to fruition. 6 of Stones, 6 of Pentacles in reverse. 6 of Pentacles in the upright talks about the idea of reciprocity and equal give and take. That's why I'm saying that, like, you might have stepped towards a new beginning, but your effort didn't pan out because it might not have been meant for you. That opportunity might not have been meant for you, even though it was presented to you in some form or fashion. And that could have been frustrating, because it's like, you know what? It's like, I get it, because Spirit's kind of showing me certain situations in my past, in my distant past, where like it was like a relationship that I wanted to get into with somebody that I really liked, or to be close to that person, or I was close to that person, and then, you know, I wanted to get into a relationship with them, but they didn't want to for whatever reason. And I was willing to take the risk, but for some reason that I can see now in hindsight, not at the time, can see now in hindsight, oh, that was not meant for me. I'm so glad that wasn't meant for me. But at the time, it didn't feel fair. It didn't feel fair. Like, it felt like I was missing out on something that I really wanted. But in that case, Spirit knew what was right. And I think that's what happened here. It's like you can look back on it and say, well, that, you know, I'm glad that I had the wherewithal to kind of put my foot forward, but I didn't get on that ship, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, let's get a clarifier for that one. What did this have to do with, Spirit? King of Swords in the reverse. Not sure what it had to do with, but King of Swords is somebody who is like a learned person, very educated, an expert in their field, very no nonsense, can be cold and discerning, very, very smart. The card in reverse suggests to me that you didn't have all of the information. You did not feel a total sense of confidence because you were not equipped with all of the data. That there were some things, there were some aspects, if this was like a new job or a relationship, it's like you didn't have all the information to make the decision that you felt comfortable with. You were willing, but you don't, it's like, I don't know what I don't know. That's what I feel like. I didn't know what I didn't know. And we can look back on that and say, okay, Spirit was protecting me, great. But there could be some, I feel like a little like resentment energy or regret here. Like it still feels unfair, even though you know it was probably for your best and highest good that you didn't get it, or you didn't engage in it, or you didn't go down that path. It still feels like it sticks in your craw. I don't know where that expression comes from, but it sticks in your craw. It bothers you a little bit. One moment. Sorry, Libra, I was totally overheating, so I had to turn on my air. Okay, so as I was saying, like it kind of sticks in your craw. There's something a little bit like you haven't forgotten it, basically. You are a good sign for letting things go, but this particular thing, like you're fine, but it still bothers you a little bit, right? Because it's almost like, why tempt me with something, an opportunity, person, whatever, only to not have it pan out, right? That's the feeling there. And then in the present energy, 5 of Spires or 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords is usually talking about an aspect of competition, the winning at all costs card, right? Really, like we're going to get to our goal, to our destination, to the flag of victory on top of that little castle there, no matter what it takes. It's not the most pleasant energy to be in. It's not the most generous, that's for sure. Sometimes in life, though, we have to play hardball, and Spirit is saying that. Not because we ourselves are not generous people, loving and kind people. My lighter just fell off the table. It's kind of like, I don't know why, it was kind of like, that represents to me like putting somebody at disadvantage. Because it's like, we want to be generous and kind, but we also have to, at some point, put ourselves first. not in a selfish way, but in like a self-preservation kind of way. And that's more the line of thinking that you're under right now. I don't know if this has to do with a job opportunity or a relationship, but kind of feels like one of those options. Something that you're manifesting, clarified by the Magician card, number 1 of the major arcana, the power of all 4 suits of the tarot. Somebody who is very resourceful, knows how to use all of their own talents and resources and connections to make things move and shake. So with these 2 cards together, I really feel that Libra strategy energy coming out here. This is a little bit of take no prisoners. So I don't know who did what to you or what situation you're in where you felt like you were shafted. You felt like you were, you know, you put your hard work in and it didn't pan out, right? And maybe it wasn't somebody that did anything to you. Maybe it was just life, right? Which is enough. And now you're playing a little bit of hardball. You're playing for keeps, those kind of terms. Like no more Mr. Nice Guy with this energy. And it's not, you're not hurting anybody. I don't see that, but I do feel as though you're having to be a little bit more shrewd about the actions you take, the conversations you have, your next move. Because it seems perilous in a certain sense, like there's a lot at stake. Can I have a clarifier, please, for the present energy? 6 of Spires, from the 5 to the 6, but it's in reverse. 6 of Spires. 6 of Spires talks about finding that way across, from moving from a chaotic situation into something a little bit more manageable. But you got this card in reverse, which suggests to me that you're still stuck in the 5. Right? Like you want to get to this place where we can move on with our lives, bring in our manifestations. But there is Spirit saying, no, in the present energy, I think what will help is kind of letting go of this. Any residual, I'm not saying it's easy, but letting go of any misgivings or resentment, or because Spirit is showing me a very specific example. I'm not going to name names or anything, but I had a former coworker who was really upset that a colleague of theirs got a massive promotion slash title change, and they didn't. And they helped this person, gave them a lot of suggestions and advice, and that person got the promotion and my colleague didn't, right? So I'm seeing that scenario in my mind, that they helped this colleague of theirs and then they were kind of like left in the dust, or at least that's what they perceived. Now, they went on to start their own endeavor and they're thriving. And sometimes you got to look back on that situation and say, okay, it just wasn't meant for you. And because you were supposed to be pushed in this other direction that sees you being the master or mistress of your own domain, something so much better. But I dare say if I asked this person today about it, they'd still be a little sour. So Spirit's kind of just saying, like, do your best and you do what you want. And I'm not trying to lecture you on anything, because I'm a water sign, so like God knows that like I hold a grudge, but that's not quite your style, right? It's not your style to necessarily, I mean, I don't know. You tell me what your style is, but the Libras I know, and I have a North Node Libra, so like I'm surrounded by Libras because Libras teach me the hard lessons. The Libras I know don't necessarily it's like they can't be bogged down or bothered by something like resentment. They have too much to do. But I also know those same Libras that's just like, when I'm done with you, I'm done with you. The door is closed, the drawbridge is up, the moat is surrounding me, and there's no access forever and ever, amen, right? I also know some Libras that are like that too. So this is what I see in your present energy. I do think that there is a slight, and I say this with so much love, there's a slight chip on your shoulder. Really look at it. And maybe that's what's going on right here, because we're maybe processing some of the emotional aspects. Maybe look at that chip on your shoulder and say, okay, what am I actually angry at? What am I actually angry at? What can I learn from it? And what can I forgive? And what can I let go of? It's like unburden yourself. Unburden yourself. Because you have so much going for you as the magician energy. You know how smart you are. You know how resilient you are. You know how resourceful you are. So just focus on that. I mean, I think that that's when we start building things we start to see those manifestations come true for us. In the future potential, number 18 of the major arcana, the moon, Pisces. Stepping into a little bit of water energy, where we're looking at those emotions, we're trying to figure things out. It's not always clear, especially with the moon. There's a lot of mystery, illusion, confusion, secrets, things bubbling underneath the surface. So it could still be challenging for you in the future to deal with the variables in a graceful way. So it could be frustrating for you. In other words, it could be frustrating for you not to have all the answers, because you like to have all the answers. And there's still some things that are going to be revealed in time. And it's interesting, I don't know if I've ever talked to Libras about this, but every once in a while, when I deliver a message, there's something that can happen, and it's usually this side of this ear, where I feel it's almost like my eardrum is being compressed somehow. It's not a tunneling, which is when your spirit guides come in. It's not an ear ringing, but it's like somebody like beating on my eardrum in a way that is uncomfortable. And it only ever happens when somebody doesn't want to hear the message that I'm giving. Like, it's hard to hear. And it's not pleasant for me. And so I know that this might be a message that some of you don't want to hear, and you can turn it off if you want, but I have to honor what Spirit is giving me. That's what they're giving me, right? But not all is lost. If you've made it this far, it's clarified by the Ace of Spires or the Ace of Swords. Swords is your energy, the air element. You're going to have that clarity and epiphany and that breakthrough, and things are going to fall into place for you so beautifully, right? And in this particular depiction of the Ace of Swords or the Ace of Spires, the sun is coming up over the horizon. So eventually this mystery will set and the sun will rise, and things are going to make so much sense. It's a card of advice from Spirit. Page of Branches, King of Stones in reverse. So Page of Branches, Page of Wands, and the King of Stones in reverse, the King of Pentacles. So Spirit is kind of asking you to really look at or work on the practical aspects of your life at the moment. So instead of like really trying to devise these elaborate plans, all that swords energy, really try to focus on your stability, your health, your finances. Just get all of your ducks in a row in the material world. Just focus on that right now, because it's almost like when you clean your room or something, like when you have a place and space that surrounds you that is in order, that feels orderly and clean, you have a clear mind. Clear space equals a clear mind. And so if we extend that into like a bigger aspect, like your job situation or your friendship group. It's like cleaning house, like taking away, eliminating all the things that don't belong, that are too much, that are extraneous to you, and just cleaning house. So that eventually, with the Page of Branches or the Page of Wands, when we get that inspired action, we have the wherewithal and the energy to make a bold move. The Page of Wands is always about like stepping forward into something new with childlike wonder and anticipation and excitement, and a little bit of being a novice, being new and not being afraid to be new. Right? But we kind of have to get that foundation in order first. So there might be some tumultuousness that Spirit is identifying in your life. It could be this, like, again, a lack of stability in whatever form makes you feel stable, and just kind of regrouping so that we have the mental space to take that step forward. So I'm going to read from the book number 7, To the Sea. Being in flow, returning to source, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. Isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. Everything seems to work out when you stop scrambling and allow the sea of opportunities to wash over you and wake you up to your most prosperous potential. To get into that flow, you need to address your beliefs about abundance and money. The true meaning of your personal currency lies in your skills, your talents and abilities, and most important, your core beliefs. Everything flows from your inner world and is reflected in the outer one. When grateful to serve, you align your prosperity consciousness with a higher consciousness. You can expect miracles. Everything you need will come to you easily. So that's your reading, Libra. I hope that it resonated. If it did, please like, share, subscribe, comment down below. Please hit the bell notification to be updated as to when I post new readings. Thank you, Libra.